There's a whole host of new features in Adobe Photoshop that were presented in Adobe Max 2022. So I'm really excited to share these top 5 things coming to Adobe Photoshop from Adobe Max. But before we dig in, remember to check out Envato Elements. It's an amazing resource for creative professionals. One subscription gets you unlimited access to graphics, logos, templates, photographs, and more. With simple commercial licensing, it's an amazing resource to have up your sleeve. Check out the link in the description to get started. Also, if you love design tutorials, insights, and all kinds of design topics, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's take a look at Adobe Photoshop and these new noteworthy features. Number 1. Selection improvements. The Object Selection tool has gotten smarter in this latest update. If you've never used the Object Selection tool before, you can find it in the Tools panel. And if you're not seeing it in your lineup, you can always edit your toolbar by clicking on this dotted icon right here. With the Object Selection tool, we can easily select part of our work, like this. Watch, and Photoshop will select and detect the space for me. Of course, I can always use additional tools like the Select and Mask options or my other selection tools to refine this selection. But it's pretty handy to have such a speedy way to select an object. Number 2. One-click delete and fill. This sounds like actual magic, right? Well, it feels a little bit like it too. Let's test this feature out together. I have a photo here from Envato Elements, and I'd like to remove a feature. Photo manipulation and photo retouching can be tricky, time-consuming work, but check out what this feature can do. I'll select part of the photo that I'd like to remove. Let's use that Object Selection tool again to speed up the process. Once my selection has been made, I'll just right-click on PC or Control-click on Mac, and then choose Delete and Fill Selection. Check it out! Photoshop automatically removed the content and made a pretty good, really fast replacement for me here. I wouldn't necessarily call this a complete replacement for good old-fashioned editing by hand, but it's pretty impressive and it's certainly fast. You can also do this with selections made with the other selection tools too. Number 3. Invite to edit and share for review. A lot of my work in Photoshop tends to be collaborative, whether I'm working with a team or I'm working for a client. Invite to edit and share for review are a pair of collaborative tools that I'm super excited to start trying out in my workflow. You can find these options under the File menu over here, or via the Share icon in the upper right-hand corner of the software. Let's give Share for Review a try. I'll select Share for Review. Then, Photoshop will give you a link that you can share with others, although you can tweak the permissions here in regards to who has access and can comment on your work. Invite to Edit is a similar process, and you can give others access to comment and save your work as well. Here's a preview of what sharing your work looks like in a browser window. I could definitely see myself using this to keep comments and feedback all in one place. Number 4. Content Credentials. Content credentials are an interesting initiative that aren't exclusive to Adobe Photoshop, but have been included as a new beta feature. It attaches credentials to your work, but only if you explicitly enable Photoshop to do so. We can find this under Window, Content Credentials. You can attach a lot of information here, from basic things like the author's name, to other things like Twitter or Instagram accounts. Click Preview to see the content credentials that will be attached. You can toggle many of them on or off. It's also worth mentioning the Content Authenticity Initiative, which is what this feature is all about. It is a pretty ambitious goal, creating a standardized way to share visual content without necessarily losing information like who made it or with what. And this won't be exclusive to Photoshop. Number 5. Photo Restoration Neural Filter. When I heard about this neural filter, I was pretty curious. Photo restoration can be a pretty big undertaking, so a filter that can do that for you? That's a pretty big deal, right? Here's an old vintage photo with plenty of scratches and aged patches. Let's give this filter a test run together. Simply go to Filter, Neural Filters to get started. Down under the Restoration category, choose Photo Restoration. Toggle it on, and then you can experiment with these values. I found that it can take a little bit of time to load, but the wait's worth it. Check out my result. While it's not necessarily perfect, it's a pretty substantial improvement, and considering this feature is still in beta, there's certainly a lot of potential. Imagine if restoring old family photos was a breeze for everyone and anyone. Awesome, right? So which of these new features added to Adobe Photoshop were your favorites? Was there anything else from Adobe Max that you're really excited for? Let us know and make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. You can also click the notification bell so you never miss out on new design content. I'm Daisy Ein, thanks so much for watching and happy designing!